If you want to support the channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thank you. What is up, everybody? Tricks Ridiculous back with another video, and in this one I wanted to talk about all 4 characters at launch in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and try to help you determine what character is right for you. Now, if you've been following the game for a while, or maybe you played the alpha, you probably already have a good idea of who you're going to be playing day one, and that's totally fine. I still hope you enjoy the video and that you maybe learn a little bit about each of the different characters' playstyles. But if you're watching this and you're undecided, or even if you're watching this video at a later date, maybe the game's already come out and you're kind of just jumping into it, I think this will be a really useful guide for you to just understand the very basics of each character in general, what goes into each of them, how you can expect them to play. I'm not going to go super deep into each, kind of gear combinations or skill trees, anything like that, but really just kind of a high level of how each character is really designed to play, what you can expect. And if you're actually thinking about a certain play style, maybe you want a gun build or a melee build, hopefully this will kind of help you decide what character will really fit that properly. So before we jump into it, be sure to like the video and subscribe if you're new, if you're a fan of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and especially if you're looking for endgame content. That's what we'll be covering on this channel. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. The first one we'll start with is Harley Quinn, who can use pistols, SMGs, and LMGs as her weapon suite. So she covers kind of that short to mid-range play style. She doesn't really have a weapon option for long ranges. Her traversal is a grappling hook, so you can swing kind of Spider-Man style, and you can also clamber onto any nearby ledge. Think of like the Arkham games. Her play styles in games, as they're actually titled in her skill tree, are Detonator, Run and Gunner, and Slugger. And from what I've seen, she's the character who really best utilizes grenades and explosives, definitely more so than any other character. Yet she does also have strong melee bonuses, a lot of shield regeneration, and gun bonuses while you're moving, staying active, and staying in the air. If you do play Harley, you will definitely be rewarded for an acrobatic play style and leveraging the full breadth of her abilities, from traversal to grenades to guns to her traversal attack and suicide strike. Harley seems to me to be a very high skill ceiling character, definitely, I'll say especially with her traversal. Definitely going to be one of the hardest traversals to master. But I think will be the most rewarding once you're really adept at kind of micromanaging her traversal and all of her abilities. She really also doesn't fit into any, clean niche play styles more so than the rest. She really does seem to be kind of a jack of all trades. So if that's what you're looking for, Harley could be the character for you. Next is Captain Boomerang, who can use shotguns, snipers, and SMGs. So he's kind of interesting. He can really be played at either a very close range or a very long range with really no mid-range option. His play styles defined in game are long range, charger, and hit and runner. All right, his traversal is the Speed Force Gauntlet, which lets you toss a boomerang and then teleport to where it ended up. And he really embodies kind of that blink teleport shotgun play style, kind of teleporting around the map in enemies' faces, shotgunning, and then getting out of there, right? He has many abilities that reward you for up-close combat, specifically with shotguns, as well as a ton of damage reduction and shield harvesting bonuses to keep you alive while you're in the thick of it. He really does seem to be a bit of a support character as well. He has many different crowd control effects that affect a lot of, kind of dense mobs in the area that a lot of the squad can benefit from. He can put enemies in slow motion. He can suspend them in the air. So he's definitely, I wouldn't say he's a very strong DPS. He certainly does have some perks that can make him deadly from long range, but probably not as effective as someone like Deadshot, who we'll get to next. So I think, for my money, if you're really looking for kind of a very fast, in the action character who may not be the most damage, but can certainly support the team, stay alive, and clean up mobs of enemies, I think Boomerang is your guy. Next is Deadshot. Now, Deadshot uses snipers, of course, assault rifles, and pistols. He excels at long and mid ranges, but doesn't really have any short range abilities. His playstyles, as defined, are sharpshooter, tactician, and bomber. And his traversal is his jetpack. So he has a fuel gauge that eventually runs out, but he has many perks to either increase the capacity or refill it to stay airborne longer. Now, Deadshot is pretty definitively the DPS, okay? If you want to play a true gun-based character with fairly easy traversal and pure damage, he is your guy. I would say more so than any character, he just gets pure, clean bonuses to crit chance, crit damage, and gun damage, while having skills that grant additional bonuses for staying airborne, and like I mentioned, skills that keep him airborne. What he does lack is survivability. Not to say that he has none, but he is certainly the most glass cannon, if you will, of all the characters. This, of course, being offset by the fact that he doesn't really want to be in the thick of it. He plays from a further out range, so he's not going to be swarmed with enemies, right? So you kind of have to, balance that. For my money, you'll be most effective playing Deadshot exactly as you'd expect, as kind of that mid to long range aerial support, really providing high pure damage from a safe distance to cover your team's backs. And lastly, we have King Shark, who uses shotguns, LMGs, and assault rifles. So similar to Harley, he has close and mid-range options, but really doesn't do well from long ranges. His defined playstyles are Artillery, Survivor, and Predator. His traversal is his Apex Pounce, which can quickly launch him either straight up into the air or horizontally in kind of an arcing pattern. From there, he's able to swim through the air at least 3 times to cover ground before landing. Shark probably does have, in my opinion, the easiest traversal to learn, which can be nice if you really aren't looking to micromanage all of your movements for maximum effect, say like Harley Quinn. Now, Shark is absolutely, definitively the tank character, and he's kind of a bit of a berserker type through and through, right? More so than anybody else, he is stacked to the teeth, pun intended, with health and shield bonuses, regen to both of them, and a ton of damage reduction. And not just for himself, but he actually provides many of these support benefits to the whole team. So he's not necessarily like a traditional taunt style tank, but rather he is himself a tank and really provides tanky benefits to the team. So a different kind of play on a tank. He does get bonuses to heavy weapons if you really want to do like a sustained fire play style. Think of like, you're just holding down a minigun like the Punisher, right? Like if you want to play like that, he certainly has many skills that can support something like that. But for my money, melee and very close range, just chaos is the way to go with Shark. He's got many benefits to meleeing. If there is going to be a way to do a pure melee build, I would say Shark is going to be the one to do it. Tons of benefits, including health regen, ability regeneration, and as I mentioned, a ton of survivability to keep him up and easily kind of get in close and wreck face, ripping enemies to shreds, using your abilities, your suicide strike, your traversal abilities over and over again. For me, if you want to play as a WWE superstar who's going to be power bombing enemies from the top ropes over and over and just causing general chaos, Shark is your man. Anyway, that is it for me. I hope you got something out of this video. Let me know down below what character you are most excited about. And again, be sure to sub for all things Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. That is it for me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.